Booyaka. This is the Gatekeepers Musically Speaking Podcast. It's your boy Verbal Vein with Shaman Wagwan and Mari up in the joint. Yeah. Episode 5. Kila Monday from 9 p.m. Episode mpya zinatoka. They come through on YouTube and SoundCloud. Links to Facebook. All you have to do is just search for Gatekeepers Musically Speaking Podcast. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. And yes, today would like to also apologize, man. We are still having microphone issues. But we're gonna sort them out.
Some monkey was being very adventurous.
Yeah.
And things went bad. So we have to take responsibility. It's the first thing. Actually, it's what we're talking about. We are taking responsibility.
Yes.
The monkey will not be allowed to do that project again.
We are looking to make things better. We have future plans. We're also looking to do a video cast. Ndio angalau you can see how we look like.
Yeah.
Yes. And today the topic is proper. Today the topic is what everybody's talking about. Illuminati and musicians. A musician that anasainiwa, he wasn't doing that much, and then all of a sudden you hear the guy signed to Illuminati and booyaka, big track, cars and everything. I know some of them succeed, and then you hear some of them, they disappear strangely, unusually, under weird circumstances, and that's what we are here. I'm here to debunk Illuminati. I'm just here to say, well, I don't believe that shit. And Mari is here for his own interests, so Shaman is here. His own interests.
Let me just put it out there. I'm taking a neutral stance on this, but I'll look at the reality, the events.
First members once.
No, I'm looking at things objectively.
Okay.
Like if at all Illuminati exists.
So let us
What
understand
would be-
it. Yeah, let us understand it. Musically speaking, in the music industry, what is Illuminati? What would a kid tell you? What would a young person out there tell you? There's that obvious jargon. There's that obvious jargon that everybody knows. It's the selling of the soul.
Okay.
Selling.
First of all, we need to get over this definitions thing we have going on. Last time Verbal was talking about selling his soul so many times. I think it's something you can do. It's something you can do.
Yes.
Of course, with proper legal representation.
Don't just sell your soul.
No.
Without consulting.
Yes.
We need to capture exit clauses very well.
But then again, there's now the philosophical understanding of what the soul, because even the soul right now, it's pretty much in a philosophical, spiritual environment where monetization of this entity. Come on, man.
What the soul is time.
You see, now that's your philosophy of what a soul is.
If you have time, yes, it's a personal belief.
Yeah.
I've actually built it over time, and so I'm very attached to it. That if you are giving someone your time, then ideally you're selling your soul, because when time is said and done, what do you have to show for it? Is it yours or someone else? I think, it goes out there without saying that if you are 9 to 5ing on someone else, then you've sold out.
Yeah. No, but I think it goes deeper than that. Because it brought in something to do with spirituality, and I think there could be something to it. But as I said, I'm here to look at things objectively, looking at the evidence. What if Illuminati is there? What would be the indications for us to point out?
Okay.
Are there things that we can look out for? Now, let me just start by telling a story about an experience, and this is a second-hand experience, someone I interacted with. There's this rapper I met some time back called Cloud Baus, like Baus, Cloud, Cloud, Mewingu. And yeah, it was a dope rapper. He was able to. He had done a few releases, was gaining some traction. Like back in 2011, his numbers were like in the thousands per video. Back in the day, that was a big deal. Like even for major artists, in Kenya, that is, getting to those numbers was something. And one thing I noted about him was he spoke a lot about Illuminati in his songs.
But you said it's a second-hand.
Yeah, I interacted with him.
Okay.
I met him in events. We interacted. I saw him performing live on the we shared a stage several times. And now listening to his songs, you hear someone on stage, then you listen to go online, look up their songs. I noticed one thing. He used to talk about the Illuminati a lot, and almost like pointing out their activities, and just generally talking about Illuminati and how almost like challenging them. I don't know if his content is still online, but I think you could look it up and see for yourself. But now, one day, I just get it on the kwa mtandao, I hear he's gone, he passed on.
Now, allow me to neutralize that story with also my own experience.
Yeah.
Back in 2011, I was in a group called Ice Freeze.
Yeah. Sorry. Let me just finish. Now, the funny thing was when I tried to follow up on what happened, the stories were all over the place, and it almost seemed like nobody understood what happened. And up to today, I still haven't gotten any clarification on. It almost sounded like it was an accident, or he got sick, but he was healthy. You hear so many stories, and to me it was like the only thing that I could piece together was this guy talked so much about the Illuminati, then just disappears. Passes on.
You see us, we're talking about Illuminati for 40 minutes. Might disappear before the next episode.
But no, he was strongly saying how the Illuminati should be
stimulated. I'll put my mind on that, but I'll give a chance.
Okay, let's hear his story.
Back in 2011, I was in a group called Ice Freeze. These guys wanted to be like the Young Money guys. The Lil Waynes, the Drake. Those were the time as Young Money were doing proper things. The Nicki Minaj's, the Tigers. Those guys were proper. So those guys were also obsessed about American rappers. About the Jay-Z's, the Beyoncé's. So, there was the core group of the Ice Freeze. It was only me and I think a guy called 2940, and then the beatmaker called Mush Rules. That was the core. And then there were also the exterior guys, maybe to say the financiers. So there was this individual financer who are going to record. He comes through, he wants to see how Ice Freeze is doing. So, 2940 be like, yo man, usikaribie umse ni Illuminati. I'm like, hata usiamwangalie kwa macho, we tuka hapo, wacha yeye asikie tu record abambike, alafu tutacheki. Ati akienda choo, hata usimwangalie akienda choo, ataenda atafanya sijui some funny things. So no, these guys made me feel like, hey, this guy must be. And me at that time, I didn't give a damn. I was like, okay, I'm interested in knowing who this Illuminati guys is. But after some time getting to know this guy, I just find out that he was just a church guy. He wasn't into the church, but I think, he had a lot of connections to pastors and, choir stuff, music stuff. So he would come, he would throw money. He was like, yeah, you guys like this record? Yeah. But, the ice freeze did not go too far. Ice freeze did not go too far. So the finances were kind of like, they were like cut out. But when you get to know this guy, you just find out like he's just an ordinary hustler. So, as much as, you're told that guy is Illuminati, when you get to know them, you're like, kumbe umse tu ni mse wa kawaida.
Me, I would say Illuminati exists.
Okay.
But the way it exists is not the way people are being forced to believe. Because you see, it's like the way they tell you, money is the root of all evil. If money was the root of all evil, why does it give the rich guys a very good life? Is that what the devil does? The devil gives you so much pleasure that you go out of your mind. Are you serious? Are you serious? So Illuminati comes in. Ati Illuminati wanafanya nini? Illuminati wananyonga wasi, utambu sacrifice mamako, eti unapenda sister yako sana, utamsacrifice. Let's even as if that's not so bad, let's be honest with each other. If I was told to sacrifice Mari and get lifetime supply at least someone recognizes I love this guy.
Yes.
That is so loved that he can be used for ransom. That's not the point, though. So they come with an offer and they give you something in return. It's like a con.
That's the whole arrangement. That's how it's perceived in popular culture.
Yes, but that's not the truth of the matter. I think the whole thing is like a cartel. Here locally we call it a cartel. Kuna watu fulani, ukitaka kuuza shamba, you need to speak to someone. If ukitaka kununua gari yenye ni kubwa, for like you can't go in a shop and buy a Mercedes Benz for 50 million. They will ask you questions. Unajua ni kazi gani umefanya nini. So when a young millionaire comes in town and his money is illegal, he must know people to drive that car off. He knows people around. So that is Illuminati. Illuminati will get you those things you want at a price.
It's not an actual organization. No. It's just Illuminati in any area can be perceived as a criminal element of some sort.
Illuminati is a system, an efficient system, an established system.
Okay, but wait, I still got another story.
Okay.
And now this is what I was saying. Like point out actual events, then explain. Now, remember this time we were in town with DigiLive Records. We had a studio along Apo Kenya Cinema. And during that time, there was this chick I interacted with. Forget her name. She was called, what's her name in Kiswahili? Asali.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember her. At one point she was bubbling up in the scene. She had done a few collabos here and there. Really good singer. And now one of the...
Did she do a collab with a rapper?
I think she did.
She won some show. Was she in a reality show?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But she had done her rounds. Like she had done a few collabos with some big artists in Kenya, and she was coming onto the scene, And now one of the producers told me that one day some people came to the studio and offered her a contract. And they didn't say much. What I remember of the story is it all seemed like a normal contract, except she was asked to sign in blood.
Ati?
Yeah.
Well.
And, now, you hear a lot of stories and you say, okay. But now this is the funny thing. After that time, she was really like one of those artists you see and say, hey, that's promising, and has done, made moves. Like
signed that thing.
Now, after that, I don't know where she went. Like I'm not saying she disappeared or anything, but her career didn't progress as It should have.
Why?
Apparently, she did not sign.
She refused.
Yeah.
Is that why the Korea like some
let's say she
as
was
I'm saying,
because the issue
yeah.
with the Illuminati and musicians is that connection, you know. Kuna musician akona skills zake, kuna musicians akona talanta zake. So you know, to use Illuminati as a basis for their success and their downfall. Maybe there are other things involved, because we know in music we have drugs, you know, we have influencers, we have somebody who maybe just doesn't want to do music anymore. You know, maybe it could be that, or I don't know. I mean, Illuminati is a clear shortcut, so to say.
See, again, just be easy on that class. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's the same way someone would see a young girl with a sugar daddy, so to say, and they say, "Oh, she has it easy." A young boy with a sugar mommy, and they're like, "Oh, they have it easy." You know, like you know, it's an option. Listen. It's not everyone that can get a sugar mommy. It's not everyone that can get a sugar daddy. So now once you've got this, some of them have weird demands.
Finances.
Okay.
The finances. So it's the same thing, and that's why I call it a system. I'm calling it a system, okay?
Yeah.
Because it's been tried. If you find your place in the system, unaitwa kupenya. It's in your face, man.
Yeah.
Ukipenya, you're under someone, somewhere. You're playing a role in the system. True? And so always orders come from above. So ukisikia kama for example vile Kiba amekuwa fired,
oh man,
or Jalango sijui kwa group flani, you know, there are people who can't be got rid of. Because of the kind of clout
that whole story sounds fishy.
It's
what's happening in the media.
Now that you could say Illuminati is in charge. Now it makes sense. So Illuminati is there in that place. We don't refuse. This person takes something from you and they give you something that's a lie, right? That is Illuminati. So they give you, for example, when Sadi, you get a deal or you are signed now to Illuminati. They give you free clothes, they give you a free place to stay, they give you a free car, and all they've done is manage a conglomerate of companies and use you, right? Okay? So we say we dress verbal today. Remember, you're not putting any other label on. If it's not from what those guys tell you. They tell you it's Nike, okay? When the ambassador or Nike.
Well, I guess in that context, you can say like corporate control of musicians, or maybe managers, producers who take advantage of a musician's talent.
No.
Okay, they suck them dry.
You need no. Don't confuse. Don't confuse.
So what are you trying to say? Musicians do not have talents, because that is why the Illuminati and musician combination works in popular culture.
Artists have talent. True. It's the kata. That is what the Illuminati will take. The talent. And what do? They offer you a structure that works. All right?
Okay. I don't refute the structure and putting those things together. But okay, for example, that signing in blood thing.
Now I think that's one of those tales that you have an opportunity to tell, so you draw in your own key points. Decide nijikata kidole nitumie kidole kitoka, bring green chicken, those funny things. Mwana mganga kanataka kukuibia, akuitishe kuku ya red. Na anajua kuna kuku ya red. Na anataka kukuibia. I don't think he'll make it so difficult for himself.
So my issue is how in popular culture, like people who do not know much about Illuminati or maybe its origins, when they hear somebody say it, it's the art of storytelling, the human condition of storytelling. There's always a point where people tend to add salt. Even me, I'm guilty of adding salt in many of my stories. So you know, unacheki. So when these stories go from one person, it goes from two people. From two people, those guys will add extra salt to the other 4 people. Those 4 people will add pepper to the other 16 people. So you know, and the interesting stories are the ones that come out. Like the signing of blood. Sijui the walking, sijui una walk, sijui you walk reverse.
Backwards.
Yeah, naked. Unacheki. Those things are very exciting. But the thing is, if I can debunk it, brotherhoods and secret societies, from the research I've done, they're really, they are boring kind of people. Their own stuff. Their own stuff, when they do it, their lodges. They have their own rituals.
Let me bring
and
in
also
a
they are
story
very different rituals.
which I think is more in the public limelight. The MJ, Michael Jackson.
Yes.
In his
MJ was screwed by Sony.
Okay, yeah, but there's this
They call it Illuminati.
I guess
Yeah.
that's
They call
what
it
you can.
Illuminati, right? So
Yeah,
Illuminati
like-
is there after all.
No, I can't say it's, that's the thing. Is Illuminati an organization of people who sit down, or is it just let's say a figure of speech? Me, I can call it a figure of speech.
Like, okay,
Because I don't
there-
think there is anyone out there who is in like this organization. It is called Illuminati, and they go and they look for people. Maybe it's an individual. It's a figure of speech in terms of who is influencing a certain musician. Remember, we're talking about musicians.
No. Hey, yo, listen.
Yeah.
You'll be lying to yourself to imagine that there's no group of people who have a significant, if not total, control of certain events.
But they are not called Illuminati. They are probably called JP Morgans.
Or the Rothschilds, you know.
Yeah.
But now remember, those two need to come together so they can have an even bigger reach. All right? All they have to do is make compromises. Like the way you can make a compromise in business. I tell you, well, we have Kenya. Let's talk Kenya. This is the port of Mombasa. We have 48 tribes. All right? We can do telecommunication. There's the telecommunication industry. Sasa, let's do this. Let's bring in. Mari brought up something sometime back when we were talking about registration on Facebook, for example. Mark Zuckerberg must know a lot of people for Facebook to be operating in so many countries. Yeah? Think about it. If you're starting a business, you need permits. And some of these permits are not easy to get.
Yeah.
But this guy has them in almost all countries in the world, if not all. Yeah? Anajua nani huyo?
I can say rather global corporations rather than put it all in one, one pot and just call it Illuminati. It's like failure to think further, or failure to research into it, and you just stop at the conclusion. Illuminati.
It's convenient, isn't it?
Yeah, because if you do your research, you will be shocked. You will be shocked. Kumbe it's a president, kumbe it's a minister, kumbe it's a corporation, It's maybe Illuminati brings you to a point where, okay, end of thinking capacity, it's Illuminati.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because it's the same situation with the flat earthers. Flat earthers, guys who believe the earth is flat. How the hell would we put satellites out there? How the hell would we send people to the moon if the earth is flat?
No, you see,
Now,
don't start that conversation. Don't start that conversation.
I know
Illuminati.
Shaman
Read Illuminati.
really wants to get it. But no, let me point out something else. I like pointing out things which are, should I say, out of the ordinary, to maybe bring out certain aspects.
Is it out of the ordinary or in the ordinary? Because they need to be really accessible.
Okay, this is something you can look up. It's factual, and it's about the U.S. presidents. And I think it's the coincidences between Abraham Lincoln and J.F. Kennedy.
They were part of lodges, skull and bones.
In terms of their history and say certain aspects of how they came into power, how they worked, apparently, you could look it up, but let me state what I remember about that. Apparently, let's say, for example, Lincoln was born in, let's say, 1631, then J.F. Kennedy, 1931. Then Lincoln had a secretary named Mary. J.F. Kennedy had a secretary
That is
named Mary.
coincidence.
No, it goes even further.
Coincidence.
They were all assassinated by someone with, I don't know, let's say called John.
So are you trying to tell me the people who are controlling the Lincoln are still controlling the JF Kennedy?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
now,
Yes.
this.
I don't think it's the same people.
Why I'm saying
Like
I'll take a neutral.
individuals, like-
I'll take a neutral stance is because those coincidences. It's a long list, by the way.
Coincidences,
I just mentioned like 2 or 3, but it's like a 15 or 20 list of coincidences between the two presidents, which almost like even down to the year, like 1631. This came into president on, let's say, 1715. This one came into president 1915. You know, it's such a long nini and almost looks planned. Now the thing is, how would someone plan? How would that
Events in
happen?
time.
Yeah.
See,
Time, yeah,
you see,
yeah.
me, that's my issue now with coincidences.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we may be scratching the fabrics of current society to a point that I don't really necessarily think it was the plan of a group of people, one person or people who sat down somewhere. Maybe it's a process. Some groups wanted to push an agenda. They were successful and they pushed that agenda. Glass-Steagall Act, maybe for the Bill Clintons, when they used it so banks can have more access to public funds and stuff. And then maybe another criminal group comes in, then they want some policies changed. They're like, oh, let's assassinate this guy. He wants to take away the some kind of an industry. I don't necessarily think it was a group of people who had planned it from the Lincoln ages all the way to the Kennedy. Maybe there were criminal elements then, and then there were also criminal elements in the Kennedy times with their own interests and agendas.
Okay, but how would they organize events
Now, what makes
to
you think
align?
they're the ones who organized?
Now,
They
this
are
is
the
the
ones
thing.
who organized the first one, and they're the ones who...
It could not be them organizing that stuff, but
Yeah.
the pattern cannot be.
Yeah, the pattern
Yeah.
looks man-made.
Yeah. But now...
But because if you look at natural events, they don't normally follow that kind of pattern. For example, you can't say that in 1920 there was an earthquake. Then in 1920, let's say, okay, let me use like for example, a span of 5 years, that as an earthquake will happen at the same place every 5 years. That nature doesn't work like that.
Well, there's also learning from history. That
Yeah,
thing like history repeats itself.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to perform maybe a terror attack or maybe, false flag operation, any genius criminal will know, if we do it on this same date, it will be so awesome.
Yeah.
Imagine
but,
what they're
but,
going
but
to
now,
talk about.
but now, pulling it off successfully on someone who holds the resources and they work deliberately to prevent such things from occurring. For example, terror attack. It's funny if you look at it. 9/11. If you look at it, that building is a skyscraper, right? After such a thing happens, and the government is looking out for its people. They will trace back from the guys who approved the plans to the guys who commissioned the whole thing. All of them watashikwa waweke ndani. Funny enough, if you spend your time online, just Google some of these things. 9/11 as a conspiracy, 9/11 as a inside job, 9/11. There was even a talk of money leaving the US. An equivalent amount of money that those guys were said to be paid left the US. Okay? And then if you look at the cameras, your recording, for example,
Yeah.
George Bush says it was unbelievable to see when the second plane go through the world tower. The first plane, he's talking about the first plane. It was only the second plane that was recorded. The first one, no one talks about it. And then the one that hit the Pentagon. Yeah,
it was not even there. It was not even there.
It disappeared. It disappeared. Now,
Okay.
Juke, you're talking about doing the research, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is said technology, projector technology that can project from nowhere holograms, realistic holograms that can cause physical change in the atmosphere.
The HAP program.
Yeah. So there was the talk of mind control. People thought it was a joke.
Creating natural disasters.
Yeah. There's talking about those things. MK Ultra was psychosis, understanding of the human psychology, and that's why now people make more effective advertisements. Because this whole thing started from even Nazi Germany, the propaganda machine, the marketing thing. That's why the marketing will always work. You look at something, you know what they're doing, but it still works on you. Because we are wired like that as humans. Ukiangalia adverts za Kenya, as Africa sana sana, people are shouting, you know, like, hey, Safaricom,
Yeah, I've always wondered about that.
It's intense. But now for more classy things, you know, items. If you look at your iPhone, for example, if they want to excite you, they'll use dramatic music. It's not noisy. You need silence to watch this thing. You pay attention, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, kwa stories za Omo ya 5 bob. Imechangamka. Yeah, you know, because it's in advertisement. Joke, you know this.
Yeah.
You can train a person to nag himself to buy the item. The best one, the most successful is chewing gum. Ukiona tu unasikia tu kununua, unaona? Because the way they do it, it's so subliminal. You never know. And some of these things have additives. Ile yenye ukikula mara moja 2 3 ushakuwa hooked. Unanunuanga. So for Illuminati, for me, I would think the people who allow these things to come into the market at that rate are under Illuminati. You see? So it's a system of something.
So it's not like they've organized to call each other that. It's what popular society and culture would like to refer to them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That
for example,
if
you search Illuminati backwards, would you like us to try that?
What?
Illuminati backwards.com. It takes you to the CIA website.
What?
You can try it. I mean,
okay.
You can try it. Yeah. After this, you do it.
Oh, definitely. I want to see that.
You see, if you go to now popular sites, the way you're saying it, easily available research, you find that it's an individual who registered Illuminati backwards and sold it to the CIA. And then you ask yourself, why would the CIA be interested in buying this thing? And this information is in public. It's not like you pay to see it. No. It's there. So imagine, the World Trade Center was insured 3 months before the incident against terrorism. At the time, insurance did not cover terrorists. So
it was sold. The owner sold it to.
So Illuminati for me, it's there. For Illuminati is real. It depends what you want to call it. The government is Illuminati. They carry out their culture in public. Sijui Jamhuri Day, Labor Day, you know. Why the hell do people have to go and march and shout out some things so this guy can come around and pass and look? Those are rituals, if you ask me. Those are rituals.
So now that we are musically speaking, you know, we have gone very far. They might even come for us at night. So, but here we are musically speaking. We want to try to focus on Illuminati and the musician.
Oh, so let me tell another story I had or I saw online. And this is a short one.
Yeah.
I came across a story or an article about a Chinese citizen or Chinese guy.
Yeah. But
Who
the
is
Chinese,
saying-
they're in a completely different ideological state.
Yeah, but now this is the interesting thing.
Yeah.
It was about this guy and how long he had lived. They say the oldest person in the world has lived like 150 or something, around thereabouts.
Yeah, yeah.
Now this guy had lived like 200 and something to 300
The
and something.
fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy.
How does it do this shit?
I think I saw it like 3 years back.
Okay.
Now this is what they were saying. That guy had been living in, like he's lived through several generations.
Yeah.
And at one point, he was registered, like how they register citizens, and he was registered, and at the time he was registered, let's say like in 19 something, he was 100 and. Then comes like 2000s, and he's still there. And now they were saying he's probably the oldest person who's lived within our time.
That's crazy.
But it wasn't being like they weren't announcing it. And I would wonder if there's something of that sort, even with documented evidence, wouldn't that be an interesting? Wouldn't even the world or other like Guinness Book of Records want to pick it up?
Yeah, they should.
But I don't know.
Nothing happened. I've not heard of it either.
Yeah, apparently I don't know whether he died, or I think they were talking about this after he died. But I don't know. But just try look it up. I saw the story online, but now this is my thinking. If at all that is a possibility, then wouldn't that put a lot into question about what we know?
Very true.
Yeah.
But you see, even that introduces my perspective of Illuminati.
Yeah.
Because they understand much higher level of knowledge than we do. They have it. They have the monopoly. And I think the internet is now challenging that, is questioning that kind of setup. Because when you're telling me I have fake news, for example, who's got the real news? Yeah? Yeah, ametoa wapi penye mimi sijatoa ama amefanya nini mimi sijafanya, you see. Now we can't have
I
that
think
kind of
there's a
discussion
level to
in the public.
fakeness to all kinds of news that we get.
Yeah. So
they're all edited, if you ask me. They're all edited towards a specific agenda. For example, Trump is complaining about fake news because they are reporting one side of the story. It's not that they're lying. They're just
it's
reporting
just
one
one
side of the
side.
story.
That's now what's called propaganda.
So how can they come and start telling, oh, you're not doing anything, people are dying, and then there are places where you've actually tried to help because it is readily available, the help is there, but people refuse. People ignore it. Then they're talking about places where you're even talking about consulting, you're actually consulting of how you're supposed to help those places because they need more planning, they need more. Because otherwise you can't be killing people while saving them. So it needs better approach. But the supposed mainstream will come and construe it some other way and tell you stories, for example, oh, Illuminati is this, Illuminati is that. They're not telling you the right thing,
Like the story of Jay-Z. The story of Jay-Z is like everybody knows Jay-Z's criminal background. He was a dope dealer. Until he used some of his money to create the Rockefeller franchise. But even currently, there are still criminal elements who have been reported, who have been charged. Like the Jay-Z had given ownership of 50-50, his club, to some of his friends. He still owns it. But now you see, the issue is some of his friends have been involved with CIA, drug exporting drugs to the South Americas and stuff. So it's mostly something to do with criminal elements rather than
Actually, if you just can't summarize it in terms of criminal, because I think there's one of the podcasts episodes you're talking about what the law does, for example.
Yeah.
What is criminal? I think smoking marijuana is criminal. You agree?
No, it's not criminal.
It is criminal. In the law, it is criminal. You know,
In
if you're going
Kenya,
by
at
law,
least.
yes, it's criminal, right?
Yes.
So if you're going to label people
Okay, the
criminal,
thing about the 50-50 club is even the guys were not paying taxes, you know.
that's fine. That's fine. Again, taxes is totally someone's making. Someone says you pay tax on this, you don't pay tax on that. You know that is not God given. And in this context, we're using God as authoritative because we all agree that's the order. That's the way things come. Like
Higher power.
yeah, it's a higher power. It's a symbol. It's
Now,
a symbol of higher
what
power.
about polytheistic religions? Polytheistic
okay.
religions that believe in various kind of gods. There's not that one
But
monotheistic
at least you
giant.
acknowledge something is coming from somewhere, right?
I can say the universe,
Okay,
and
good,
the
good.
universe
So
has
that's
nothing to do with the human condition or the human animal.
So it's that.
Okay.
So the CIA has been
Yeah.
accused of being the one orchestrating chaos in some countries deliberately, specifically using drugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in southern there, South America, it's not a new thing.
Yeah.
In Brazil, Colombia, you know, those countries. What's this dictator? The one who just left office, Juicy president. Is what Colombia?
Chavez.
Chavez. There's this one for Cuba. The one for Cuba. The one for Cuba.
I haven't followed. Oh, I remember. I don't remember the name though.
Yeah. The CIA attempted to assassinate him more than 6 times. It's documented, acknowledged, and left alone. You know, like mumejaribu imekata. Muache hii story. All right, it's there. There. So they use drugs. And this kind of information is readily available. Again, as people are distracted with social media, you know, kama watakubali wa hashtag trend, haiwezi trend. You see. So we are tunapimiwa news.
Oh, funny thing. Let me just
So
point it
tuseme
out.
Illuminati in terms of the musician wa Kenya, tuseme it's just maybe a point where further research hasn't really been put down to figure out which is this illuminated element that seems to be influencing a musician. It could be a producer, it could be a manager, it could be a corporation, it could be a multinational, conglomerate.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Now he mentioned, Shaman mentioned something interesting about hashtag.
Yes.
Hashtags, and I noticed something on Twitter. Have you? I don't know if any of you has seen this.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a hashtag trending when there's no discussion about it?
Well, you can pay for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you seen that?
Yeah.
It's very easy.
Oh, okay. There's a formula to it. Okay.
How do you do that, Mom? How do you
See,
do that?
unalipa tu.
And you-
Unalipa that company.
The company.
Yeah, like a hashtag, you're like hashtagging on what? On Twitter.
Yeah.
If Twitter have like a campaign, they want to support Trump. See, it's very easy to put an algorithm to make it go to everybody's Android and iPhone.
Okay. Which would seem to work against how they claim Twitter works.
The freedom of
Like
information.
when something is trending, it's because people are discussing that topic.
Okay, that's what they tell you.
Yeah.
Because ideally, if people are talking about that topic,
Yeah.
yes, it will trend.
Uh-huh.
But that's not the only way things can trend, all right?
Okay.
So you agree?
Uh-huh.
So they've told
Yeah.
you one side of it. The other one you
okay.
have to find out. Okay? So if you do your work again, Mary.
It's the thing about the information age. The information age, as we are blessed to be in the information age because we have a lot of information available to us online and everywhere. The thing is, there's the fruit picking, what information is valuable to you or what information you consider works for you, which is okay. Because let's look at it in a philosophical context. You are what you believe in. You are what you are. So, to be influenced by other, external sources, if you're willing, if you like it, if you're into it, then it's okay. But let us understand that we're living in an information age, and there's a lot out there. Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka. And there you have it. That's the Gatekeepers Musically Speaking Podcast. Episode 5, we have a lot to talk about. Yeah, there's a soundbite. I think Shaman can tell you a little something about it before we pen off. We have already signed off. So, yeah.
Soundbite for today will be done by some very talented young guys. They call themselves the Wamyota Gang and Kelly. There's be a second bit of it because we couldn't mix the OGs with the youngins. Kulikuwa na contrast kidogo. Talent iko full house, yeah, but the OGs want to talk about something different. You know, when the boys are talking about the girls and their weed and the whatnot. Tuwache vijana wafanye maneno yao. Soundbite on my page on YouTube. They check it too. Feel free. Holla at your boy. Yeah, Mari.
Yo, interesting episode, by the way. I love the discussions, and I think it's an interesting aspect to look at, to consider. You know, look at the realities and discuss all these things. I would say, I have my album, by the way. If you haven't heard it, it's out on Boomplay. You can go and listen to it. It's called Let It Out. Yeah, I think that's it.
Cool. It even has a very dope cover and design.
Yeah,
so,
you like it?
Yes, it's proper, man. You know, it's
stuff,
the way a designer can look at it. You know, it doesn't shout, it whispers, and that is how you do design. And there you have it. That's the Gatekeepers Musically Speaking Podcast. Your boy Verbal Vein, Shaman in the house, Mari,
yeah.
Booyaka.